Okay, guys, so we're going to review on how to divide decimals because we haven't talked about that in a while, and there are some people, hi Lulu, who need a little bit of extra help. So let's say that we are dividing a decimal by a decimal. Okay, so I have 37 hundredths, and I am dividing that into 5 and 18 hundredths. Okay, when you divide, and there's decimals in both your dividend and your divisor. I'm going to move the decimal point in my dividend first, all the way until I get to the very last number because I want to make it a whole number. Okay, I don't want to have to divide using decimals because it makes it very tricky when you are dividing a decimal in your divisor. So because I moved this one 2 spots, I'm going to move the decimal point in my dividend 2 spots. Okay. First thing then after I do that is I'm going to drag this decimal point up. Okay. Now instead of it being 37 hundredths, I am now dividing just 37 into 518. I should be able to do that now, okay? So let's say 37 can't go into 5, but 37 can go into 51, okay? Obviously, I don't know my 37 facts, and most likely neither will you guys. So what you need to do is just start listing out facts, okay? So do 37 times 2. 37 times 2 is 4. 7 times 2 is 14. Drop the 4, carry the 1. 6 times 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So obviously 37 times 2 is way bigger than 51. So it can only go in there one time. 37 times 1 is 37, so I write that under 51 and I subtract. I cannot take 7 away from 1, so I go next door and borrow. That 5 becomes a 4 because I'm taking 1 away, and I move it over to that 1. Because I'm adding 10, it now becomes 11. Okay, 11 minus 7 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. I am going to bring down this 8. 37, I need to figure out how many times 37 can go into 148. So I already know 37 times 2. So let's try 37 times 3, see if we get anything. 7 times 3 is 21. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. Okay, I'm still pretty far away, so I'm just going to try 37 times 4 just to be sure. 7 times 4 is 28. Drop the 8, carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So if you notice, my two numbers match. So I'm going to put that I can multiply it 4 times. 4 times 37 is 148. And I'm going to subtract. I reached all zeros. So, and if you notice, my decimal point is after all numbers. So that means I have a whole number. So our answer is 14. But what happens when I have a problem like, let's say I'm dividing 45 and 8/10 divided by 4. Okay, 4 is my divisor, and I have 45 and 8/10. The first thing I'm going to do is check to see if there is a decimal point in my divisor. There is not. It's just a whole number, so I can't move the decimal point in my divisor at all. What I'm going to do is bring it up first. Just bring it straight up. Okay? Now I'm going to check. Now I'm going to divide. 4 can go into 4 one time because 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract that, that leaves me 0. Bring down the 5. 4 can go into 5, everyone, one time because 1 times 4 is 4. I subtract that, bring down a 1. Okay, bring down that 8. 4 can go into 18 4 times because 4 times 4 is 16. I'm going to subtract that. That leaves me 2. When you are dividing decimals, I should not see a remainder, okay? We know how to divide and make it to where we don't have to divide anymore, okay? I am at this point where I have no more numbers to drag down after that 8. So I'm going to add a 0. I'm going to bring that 0 down and make that, instead of a 2, a 20, because 4 can go into 20 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract all of that. That leaves me 0. Because now I've reached 0, I am done. So our answer is 11 and 45 hundredths. Hopefully this helps you. And if not, just watch it as many times as you need to. And if you want to practice, you can go in your volume 1 book to chapter 5, and on page 331 you can practice dividing decimals.